Simran for Mango Masala Radio on Pi Radio. I'm here with Karenjeet Kaur Bains, and we're just going to find out a little bit about her achievements, and partnering up with Vatika UK Naturals Hair Care. So, hi Karenjeet, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm really good, thanks Simran. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. So, would you like to tell me a little bit about yourself? I would say we'd start with away from powerlifting, just a little bit about you.
Okay, so my name's Karenjeet. I'm 24 years old. So, as you mentioned, I'm a powerlifter for Great Britain. But as well as that, by day, I'm an accountant. So I work a recently qualified ACA chartered accountant. So I work for a big four firm. I'm currently based in Warwick and just with my family here together, and we're really close knit. And yeah, I'm really passionate about sport, and it's something I'd like to encourage people to get into.
Amazing. So you said that you went from never having picked up a weight to becoming a British champion within 6 months.
Yeah.
So obviously this is an incredible achievement, but what was it that made you want to pick up that weight that day?
So I'm really lucky. I was born into a really sporty family. So actually my dad is my coach. So he's like a former bodybuilder and powerlifter.
Wow.
So throughout my life growing up, I've been seeing him like training in the gym, lifting weights and everything. So I've always been surrounded by it. And my journey into sport was first of all like athletics. I was a sprinter. So I did that till I was 17. And I went into the gym that day just to kind of improve myself for the running, get myself a bit stronger. And then I think my dad realized I was quite strong. And I think he'd had his eye on me since I was little, knowing that I could pick up these little weights, and he's just waiting for that moment, I guess. And I really enjoyed it. And that was when I knew that, I want to try this, I could do this. And that's where it all began.
Amazing how it all happened so fast though. Within 6 months is incredible, almost like never heard of.
Yeah, thank you. I think I'm just very lucky that naturally I was able to pick up the things very easily. So I think because I've had good role models and examples for years, I've been watching like my older brothers as well. They were training with my dad, and then I'd see these examples and what was needed to do. I think I was just waiting for my chance.
I was going to say, so it wasn't like new to you. You kind of knew what you were
Yeah,
going into.
yeah, I knew what I was going into, but I think never would they've ever thought that their daughter was going to turn into a powerlifter. But yeah, I'm just really blessed to have had that chance. And we have a gym at home. So it's that kind of environment where I've always just had that with me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I was going to say the titles of you kind of being, the accountant by day and a powerlifter by night, they seem like two completely like parallel worlds. So how did you manage the balance between like your corporate life and your sporting life?
It's really tough. I think I'm very disciplined as an individual. So you have to have that kind of regime. So my days used to be crazy in the sense that I'd have to get up early in the morning, get ready, go to work. So often working like 9 till 5. Then in the evening, I'd be training like 6 till 8. But on top of that, I also had my ACA exam. So I'd be revising in the evening, like till like midnight, probably get about 5 hours sleep and then go again. But I think it's just having that discipline and knowing what you want in life. Because you often get this thing that, we're often told to focus on our education, we need to focus on academics, not get distracted. But I want to show the example that you can do both if you have the right mindset. You can excel in your passions as well as, excel in your academics. So, the parents are happy, but you're also pursuing stuff that you love.
Yeah, it's about kind of the balance, right? About like putting the work in on both ends, and then you will get the output. But you're right with like, the typical is like you get encouraged to kind of pursue the academic side of things, but there's another side of it as well, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's just I've always wanted to push that kind of mindset to even young people out there, that academics and sport can go hand in hand. So if you have that hard work mindset, because I would think personally as an individual, I was probably maybe just average, above average naturally in like studies and sport. But it's just about working hard and being dedicated and knowing things take time. But you can really excel if you just put your mind to something.
And there's no reason why you can't be great at both.
Yeah, for
both
sure.
sides of things.
Don't let anyone ever tell you that you can't do something. I mean, your parents are always gonna think they're thinking for your best interest. You need to focus on your studies. But if you can prove to them that they can trust you to do both, then go for it, whatever your passions are.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, sport and probably powerlifting specifically is a vastly male-dominated industry. So competing in that must have been already difficult as a woman. But how did you feel navigating that environment, not only as a woman, but as a BAME woman?
I think I found navigating that environment quite empowering, actually. I'll give you an example. So when I was 17, I just started lifting weights for about 3 months, my dad decided to enter me into a competition. So one day I turned up pretty much in my PE kit at the time. I didn't have anything fancy, didn't have a fancy belt or all the special stuff that I have now. And I went there and I looked around, and you just didn't see any Indians, females especially. And I was like, wow, I didn't really expect this. But especially when I walked in also to that competition. So I had both my brothers. I've got twin older brothers.
Yeah.
And they're quite like, you know, muscly dudes. They're a lot older than me. And the guys came up to us, the referees, and they're like, are you two looking to compete today? They're like, no, it's
yeah.
like right in front of me. I think from that moment on, I was like, okay, I want to show that, you know, girl power, we can really do it. Because you often think that, particularly in our community, as a female, you know, you have to be dainty, you've got to be quiet, you know, a certain kind of way. But I'm trying to challenge that kind of norm, that girls can be loud and, you know, strong, and that can also be beautiful.
Yeah, precisely. How do you feel about the representation of like Punjabi or South Asian females in the sport and fitness industry as it is right now?
I would say the representation is growing in terms of you're seeing loads and loads of like role models. I've been seeing, particularly coming up to the Olympics, I've seen wrestlers even from the female domain that are doing really well. I mean, you see examples even in like Bollywood with a film like Dangal. That's pretty much me and my dad's story as well. But yeah, I think it is growing, but I think role models, hopefully like myself and other individuals, will really help in being that example. Because sometimes you just need an example to say to your parents, like, look, she can do it, let me have a chance. Because often I think that girls just need the push to have that first step. I always encourage like people's like brothers or like family members to support their sisters, and like if they want to get into the gym, they want to train, be there supportive with them and have that inclusive environment. It's not just all about the men. Girls can do it. And my dream is that one day when I'm competing, I see many more like me. That would be an awesome legacy, I think.
Yeah, that would be amazing, because it does feel like there is the representation, while it is growing, it's still not where it should be right now, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even when I first got picked for Great Britain, when they said I was the first British Sikh female, I was quite surprised, because I thought, I didn't expect that in this day and age there wouldn't have been someone by now. But I think people are challenging perceptions. I think stuff like this campaign is also helping as well. But yeah, I think hopefully people are seeing me get out there trying to promote this message, and then more will follow.
As a Punjabi female, did you like enjoy the typical experience, maybe not from your closer family members, but maybe the extended network of like people wanted to tell you what they thought about what you were doing, or that you shouldn't do it? Maybe they just wanted to like tell their opinion wherever they wanted to.
I mean, I guess you always get that kind of thing. I'm quite lucky that even in my extended family, they're very proud of my achievements and everything. My mum's side of the family, they're actually wrestlers themselves. So they were like, yes, somebody's, you know, the girls showing some strength here, because I think they always kind of knew I had some sort of power in me, maybe in the genetics from dad and mum's side, it kind of meshed into me. But I think I'm lucky I didn't get those kind of comments. But I have had, you know, externally on social media, like people saying, you know, girls shouldn't really be doing these things, don't get too bulky. But I've been lifting heavy weights for I don't know, like 7 years now. I would say I look the toned physique that girls always want. It's by lifting heavy weights. So that's what I'm trying to tell people, that don't be afraid, because girls don't have enough testosterone to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger would like.
True,
So hopefully my example can help. And I'm on my Instagram, Karenjeet_Bains. I'm always happy to help people if they have questions, especially girls.
And while we're on the topic of like looks and physique and stuff, what was it that made you want to keep your hair long?
I think what made me want to keep my hair long is I'm very proud of my identity as a Sikh woman, as a Punjabi. I felt like keeping my hair long, the gears is super important as a Sikh woman. And I feel like them, you know, showing that on stage, that, you know, I wear kada, I keep my hair long, that identity and that roots, it keeps me connected to God and Waheguru, but it also shows people that you can be close to your roots, but also represent your country. It's not like a barrier. It's almost empowering, because, you know, Sikhs are part of a warrior race, and people need to remember that sometimes it gets lost in the translation. So I think it's good to have these kind of mementos and carry this on your body. So that's why I was really happy to be part of this campaign, showing that as like a Sikh role model.
Yeah, it's amazing, because obviously, like you said, the gears is supposed to be like a symbol of all that and all that Sikhism comprises, and then the fact that you're doing that while representing our country, and then powerlifting. It's just like the whole thing all comes together so nicely.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
How has partnering with Vatika like enabled you to keep up the representation, and what kind of work are they doing to kind of connect us back to the roots and heritage?
I think working with Vatika, I was approached by actually a Sikh woman herself, Remet. She approached me. I think she saw, she follows me on Instagram. She's actually into like lifting weights a little bit. So I'm really blessed that she said, she looks up to me, even though she's like, I consider her an older sister. It was really humbling that she said she looks up to me in terms of my lifting. So she saw me, and I think I was trying to, showcase that strength can be beautiful, that, you need to challenge the norms that you see Photoshop pictures or Indian women having to be fair or having to look a certain way in order to be beautiful. But I think that's just completely wrong, and we need to change that, because this campaign was all about real women, real stories, showing like the rawness, and I think that's what really drew me in. And this hair care range was also about being natural, which really kind of was in line with my values. I like to be as natural as possible, no photoshopping, just real, because I think people need to embrace that. You've seen actually even in the news with the Kardashians with that photoshopping thing, like it's okay to be real and normal, like that's what people want to see, and it will really give girls confidence if you're relatable. So yeah.
True. I mean, it is really important work in terms of representation and stuff, seeing stuff like in smaller domains like hair care, that kind of natural representation, and showing that natural hair is beautiful and doesn't have to be photoshopped and like filled and everything like that to make look a certain way.
For sure. I mean, there's various different individuals on this campaign. We have like a cancer survivor, an individual who's really empowered with like yoga. We even had Raheem, who's a choreographer and a dancer himself. So I think it's just touching on all these different types. We also had a makeup artist embracing like her grays. So I think it's just beautiful showing these all kind of realms all across the spectrum of ages where you can touch on this campaign that we're all trying to like be part of. So I think it's important seeing these role models, and I'm glad that Vatika is doing this, and hopefully more hair care brands follow suit.
Yeah, because I think in our community, especially that representation for the smaller like domains, let's say for grey hair, for example, or something like that, that's not shown enough, and we try and hide that away, like people dye their hair or whatever, and just act like it's not a thing that happens.
I think it's almost a beautiful process, embracing your
for sure.
age, and grey hair, I think is a symbol of like your life, your experience, what you've gone through, and I think it's amazing. So really hopefully more women can see this and start in lockdown, just embrace your hair, your natural beauty, and it's amazing. And hopefully the future will be a lot different in the beauty industry in the South Asian community.
Because what they're doing is great for representation in our community, to be fair, bringing all these different stories together. So lastly, I just wanted to wrap up and ask, what are your plans for the future, and what can we expect to see from you post-COVID?
So I was actually due to compete at the World Championships again in the bench press in the Czech Republic. That was last year, but because of COVID, obviously couldn't go. But I'm hoping that this year I will be selected maybe for the Commonwealth Games in New Zealand, because we hold our championships separately. So it might be in New Zealand, where I might be able to defend my title. But the future is I'd love to be able to be world champion one day. That is the dream. But I want to create a legacy. That's what I hold really close to my heart, a legacy of, having more brave, empowered young girls out there to try strength sports and be more fearless and not let anybody put them down. So that would be the dream. And I think doing stuff like this and putting myself out there to inspire and help people, that's my kind of dream, to help people. That would be amazing.
Of course. Well, that's amazing. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed this.
Explaining, and hopefully we will see a lot more of you in the next year and post-COVID when events can start happening again.
I know. Fingers crossed that'll be, next week we can all start to go out there, and the gyms are opening, so hopefully people.
I know. Oh my God, I'm going to be there at 6 in the morning.
Yes, I love it.